Yellowstone National Park, renowned for its breathtaking landscapes and diverse wildlife, has also been the backdrop for numerous mysterious and unexplained sightings over the years. A few years back, an incident involving a live cam in Yellowstone captured footage of 4 Bigfoot-like creatures near a herd of bison before the camera quickly zoomed out and switched off, sparking widespread intrigue and debate. Yellowstone National Park has a network of live cams strategically placed to monitor wildlife and provide a real-time viewing experience for nature enthusiasts worldwide. These cameras often capture the majestic bison, elk, and other iconic species that roam the park. On a particular day, a live cam positioned near a popular grazing area for bison captured something unexpected and extraordinary. The incident occurred when the live cam, which was streaming footage to a public website, captured 4 large bipedal creatures walking close to a herd of bison. These creatures, covered in dark hair and standing much taller than the average human, exhibited characteristics commonly associated with Bigfoot. They moved with a certain fluidity and purpose, seemingly undisturbed by the presence of the bison, which continued to graze calmly. Witnesses watching the live stream were astonished as the creatures moved across the screen. However, just as quickly as the sighting began, the live cam abruptly zoomed out and the feed was cut off. The sudden disruption fueled speculation and raised questions about the authenticity and implications of what had been captured. The immediate reaction to the footage was a mix of excitement and skepticism. Bigfoot enthusiasts hailed it as some of the most compelling evidence to date, given the credibility of the source, a live cam operated by a reputable national park. Skeptics questioned the authenticity of the footage, suggesting that it could have been a misidentification of known wildlife. One of the most significant implications of this incident is the potential credibility it lends to the existence of Bigfoot. Live cams in national parks are generally considered reliable sources of wildlife footage, and the presence of park officials monitoring these feeds adds to their authenticity. Many who state that the footage is genuine have said that it could represent a breakthrough in Bigfoot research, providing solid evidence from a credible source. The incident also highlights the public's fascination with the creature and the enduring allure of unexplained phenomena. The rapid spread of the footage across social media and various online platforms demonstrated the high level of interest in such sightings. The sudden cutoff of the feed only added to the intrigue, prompting widespread speculation about potential cover-ups and the reasons behind the camera's abrupt shutdown. Yellowstone National Park has a long history of Bigfoot sightings, with numerous reports from visitors and park rangers over the years. The park's vast wilderness, dense forests, and remote areas provide an ideal habitat for a large, elusive creature. Many of these sightings describe similar characteristics: tall, hairy, bipedal creatures moving stealthily through the forest. The 20th century saw an increase in reported sightings of Bigfoot in and around Yellowstone. Park rangers, visitors, and locals began sharing accounts of encounters with a large bipedal creature that defied conventional explanation. These reports often described the creature as standing between 7 and 10 feet tall, covered in dark hair, and exhibiting behaviors that suggested a high level of intelligence and elusiveness. One of the most compelling aspects of Bigfoot sightings in Yellowstone is the consistency and credibility of the eyewitness accounts. In 1980, a group of hikers near the Lamar Valley reported seeing a large, ape-like figure moving through the forest. The creature reportedly watched the hikers from a distance before disappearing into the trees. Their detailed description of the encounter was consistent with other sightings, adding credibility to their account. In 2002, a park ranger named David Sullivan had a close encounter near the Yellowstone River. While on a routine patrol, Sullivan observed a massive, hairy creature standing on the riverbank. Suddenly, out of the corner of his eye, he saw a large, dark figure standing on the opposite bank of the river. At first, he thought it might be a bear, but as he focused his binoculars, he realized that the creature was standing upright on 2 legs. The figure, estimated to be between 8 and 10 feet tall, was covered in dark hair. Its posture and movements were distinctly human-like, but far too large to be a person. The creature reportedly turned to look at him before silently retreating into the dense forest. He described himself as a seasoned outdoorsman and was adamant that what he saw was not a bear or any other known animal, but something entirely different. Over the years, a number of park rangers and researchers combed the area for any signs of the creature. They found large, humanoid footprints near the riverbank, measuring approximately 20 inches in length. According to researchers that had inside information, plaster casts were made of these prints, which exhibited characteristics inconsistent with known wildlife in the region. In addition to eyewitness accounts, physical evidence has also been documented. Footprints, often measuring up to 24 inches in length, have been found in various locations throughout the park. These prints are notably different from those of bears or humans, featuring a distinct toe configuration and depth indicative of a heavy bipedal creature. Hair samples have also been collected and analyzed. While many have been inconclusive, some samples have defied identification, not matching any known animal species in the region. This lack of conclusive identification has fueled speculation and further study, drawing interest from both amateur researchers and professional scientists. Advancements in technology have played a crucial role in the investigation of Bigfoot sightings in Yellowstone. Trail cameras, thermal imaging, and drones have been employed to monitor remote areas of the park, capturing potential evidence of the elusive creature. While mainstream science remains skeptical of Bigfoot's existence, there is a growing interest in the phenomenon within academic circles. Researchers from various fields, including anthropology, biology, and environmental science, have begun to explore the potential for undiscovered species in remote regions like Yellowstone. This interdisciplinary approach aims to apply rigorous scientific methods to the study of Bigfoot, moving beyond anecdotal evidence to more empirical investigation. The possibility of Bigfoot's existence raises important questions about the environment and conservation. If such a large, elusive creature can exist undetected in Yellowstone, it suggests that the park's ecosystem is more complex and unexplored than previously thought. This realization underscores the importance of preserving natural habitats and promoting biodiversity, ensuring that even the most elusive species have a place to thrive. As of right now, the phenomenon of Bigfoot sightings in Yellowstone National Park represents a genuine and intriguing mystery. The consistency of eyewitness accounts, coupled with physical evidence and technological advancements, provides a compelling case for further investigation. While mainstream science remains cautious, the potential implications for our understanding of wildlife and conservation are profound. Trail cameras are used primarily for wildlife monitoring and surveillance. They are designed to capture photos and videos of animals or humans passing by the camera's sensor. Trail cameras are often used by landowners, researchers, and wildlife enthusiasts to observe animal behavior, track animal movements, and identify potential hunting areas. They are also used for home security and surveillance, capturing footage of intruders or suspicious activity around a property. They are often equipped with motion sensors and can send alerts to the owner's phone or email when triggered. Interestingly, this landowner noticed something strange on their trail camera, saying that it appears to be a large humanoid. They submitted the footage to social media and wanted people's opinions on it. Those who saw the footage said that it looks like a large humanoid and matches typical descriptions of creatures that have been sighted throughout North America. Oddly enough, more and more trail cam owners are coming forward with footage like this, saying that many of the humanoids look like large, hairy, ape-like creatures, standing between 6 to 10 feet tall and weighing between 400 to 800 pounds. Trail cam owners also report a strong, unpleasant odor in the surrounding area, with them saying that this is direct evidence to support its existence. One user said the following about the footage: "I happen to think the creature is real, and I know several hunters who've encountered these creatures in the wilderness. The hard thing is to capture one of them on camera. They're elusive, but there's plenty of them throughout the Pacific Northwest region of North America. Due to the dense forests, it's incredibly hard to see them. For example, I've had friends say that one could be standing within 10 feet of you, and because of how thick the trees are, you'd never know they were there." End quote. As of right now, there's still an ongoing debate as to what these creatures are and where they're coming from. Skeptics have said that trail cam owners are just capturing everyday wildlife, such as bears. But not everyone agrees with this statement, and have said that they believe there's a small community of these creatures living throughout the United States. As technology continues to develop, they believe that it's only a matter of time before high-quality footage is captured of them. All across North America are reported sightings of the Sasquatch creature, a massive bipedal humanoid giant covered in hair from head to toe and commonly encountered within or nearby the untamed woods and landscapes found all across the United States and Canada. Oddly enough, not every state or local area across North America refers to the creature as Bigfoot. More commonly, local legends will feature similar descriptions of this creature, but with slight variations in its design alongside differing names. One of these is that of the mysterious Oceana monster. Descriptions of the Oceana monster often overlap with typical sightings of Sasquatch-like creatures. It's commonly accepted that the Oceana monster is a large humanoid-type creature, and so the reports of the creature are often lumped together with general Bigfoot reports made around the United States. However, the average sightings of the Oceana monster are typically only reported around the town of Oceana, located within the state of West Virginia, and add the atypical description that the creature is different from average sightings due to its scream that has often been compared to the hideous yell of a baby crying or cats fighting. The typical descriptions of the Oceana monster claim it to stand at a height of approximately 7 to 8 feet, covered from head to toe in long dark hair, and has the ability to jump long distances. Although witness encounters of the Oceana monster have been few and not recent, it's believed that the Oceana monster could have been a member of the species that traveled too close to the small town of Oceana and resided within the nearby mountainsides. The original Oceana monster encounter. Located within the state of West Virginia, the small coal mining town of Oceana was at the center of economic devastation during the rise of the Wyoming coal mines during the late 1970s and early 1980s. This economic devastation led to a general feeling of anxiety for many of the town's residents, causing a sharp increase in reports surrounding strange sightings and otherworldly encounters, though often dismissed by the local police station. It was not until the 14th of August, back in 1978, that the reports of otherworldly encounters would be treated more seriously by the Ocean Police Department. According to the written account of Officer Patrolman Bill Pritt, he would directly have an encounter with a large humanoid-like entity, later referred to as the Oceana monster. The witness report claims that while Patrolman Pitt was working between the early hours of 7 in the evening and 7 in the morning, he had received a call from the police dispatcher claiming that neighbors could hear the sound of a baby screaming in the night. Taking the call, Officer Bill Pritt traveled to the neighborhood, located near the Oceana Town Hall, and turned onto Monroe Street, in the general direction of the call's origin. Approaching the closest home, a small mobile home located at the edge of Monroe Street, he spoke with the homeowner who claimed to have heard the sound of screaming, but that it was definitely unlike anything human, comparing it to a hideous scream that frightened him into his home. After talking to another resident of the home, who claimed that the sound of the screaming could have come from a group of wild cats fighting, the officer began searching the area for fur marks to have provided evidence for such a claim. Unable to find anything, the officer went to approach another nearby home when he suddenly heard what he described as a hideous echoing squall emanating from down the street. Immediately, Patrolman Pritt entered his police cruiser and drove down the street headed towards the Clear Fork River to investigate, believing that the screaming could have been coming from a homeless man. As the officer was driving down the street, he noticed the silhouette of a person standing underneath a streetlight at the corner of Monroe Street and Willow Avenue. Exiting his car, he called to the man who appeared to be doubled over in pain and screaming the inhuman scream. As he called to the man, he noticed the person slowly stand at full height, rising to a standing position and turning to face him. It was at this moment that the patrolman realized that the man underneath the streetlight was actually an inhuman humanoid bipedal creature, covered from head to toe in dark hair and standing at a height of over 7 feet tall. Suddenly, the creature screamed again and began running towards the officer in a menacing fashion, as if preparing to attack the officer in the middle of the street. Fearing for his life, the officer pulled out his service weapon and loaded one round into the belly of the monster. The creature stopped abruptly, then quickly turned around and began to run away in the opposite direction of the officer, without any noticeable injury of any kind, heading down Monroe Street towards the Clear Fork River. Patrolman Bill Pritt, who was now in a state of shock, ran to his vehicle and radioed to dispatch, requesting additional backup for his location on the corner next to the Johnny Aliff residence. Immediately thereafter, Officer Pritt jumped back into his police cruiser and began following the creature, relaying his position over the radio, and he pursued the creature. Spotting it once more at the bank of the river, the officer exited his vehicle and began to chase the creature on foot when he noticed that it was already standing on the opposite side of the bank. At first, the officer was confused how the creature had already crossed the river, given that he heard no splashing, and it appeared as if the creature was completely dry. On later recollection, the officer claimed that the creature must have swam the length of the river in less than 30 seconds, as it would have been impossible to have jumped across the length of the river, which totaled roughly 60 to 75 feet in width. Fearing that the creature would get away, Officer Pritt fired at the monster several more times until he unloaded his entire chamber on the creature, who appeared to be standing at the side of the riverbank, staring back at the officer. A nearby officer, Chief Raymond Walker, was the first to respond to Officer Pritt's radio to the police dispatch, requiring immediate reinforcements, though was unable to get any follow-up information on what the cause for the request for additional reinforcements was about. Beginning to fear for the worst, Chief Raymond Walker began driving 80 miles per hour to reach Officer Pritt as soon as possible. Once approaching the area of Monroe Street, Chief Raymond Walker could hear the shots from Pritt's revolver, claiming that the encounter sounded like a full-on firefight down by the riverbank. Without hesitation, Chief Raymond Walker drove up to the bank, exited his vehicle, and ran down to where Officer Pritt was standing, reportedly seeing the officer dry firing his weapon in a direction towards some brush across the riverbank. When the chief asked Pritt what was going on, the officer replied that there was a monster on the other side of the bank and to fire at it. It was at this moment that the chief claimed to have seen the brush begin to move and a large creature standing at the other side of the river. Unsure of what the creature could have been, the chief fired 4 warning shots into the air. The sound of the assault rifle sent the creature running up the mountainside and disappearing from view. Once gone, the chief led Patrolman Pritt back to his vehicle and attempted to cover up the incident to prevent people from asking too many questions. However, by 6:38 in the morning, citizens began investigating the matter on their own, looking for evidence of the creature, as some of the nearby residents had heard the screams and seen the encounter. By 7 in the morning, citizens had gathered evidence by taking photos of trampled weeds, broken branches, and a large footprint in the mud along the riverbank that was far larger and awkwardly shaped to have been a human foot, though looked unlike any other known animal in the region. Even more startling, many of the citizens claimed to hear the continued screams of the creature way off in the distance up on the nearby mountainside. Shortly after the sighting of the creature, reported by Patrolman Bill Pritt and Chief Raymond Walker, the West Virginia Department of Natural Resources soon became involved in a formal investigation into the claims of the humanoid ape-like creature residing within the nearby swamplands. However, rather than attempt to confirm the sighting of the creature, the wildlife experts were instructed to disprove the encounter as nothing more than a case of hysteria, with many of the investigators claiming that the creature was nothing more than a large bird. As the West Virginia Department of Natural Resources combed the area, they were unable to find any supporting evidence for the claim of the creature to have been a large book, with no evidence of blood or feathers anywhere surrounding the area. Following their investigation, a man by the name of James Cozort, a local citizen who had a bachelor's degree in social studies from the University of Concord, led his own personal investigation into the encounter. After traveling to the side of the riverbank, James Cozort began collecting several photographs of the scene to try to piece together the movement of the creature through the surrounding brush. Once all of his evidence had been gathered, the following night, Cozort offered to join Patrolman Pritt on a ride along throughout the area to see if the creature would return again on the following night. As they spent a 12-hour shift together, talking and handling several minor incidents, the creature failed to return.